So CodeMiko, wherever this is, people are all creaming their jeans because they got a bunch of subs. So let's kowtow to this person. So I'm going to unmute them. So CodeMiko.
Hello. I am so excited to learn. I'm actually really excited. Thank you so much for unmuting me. And I don't really know much about science and all that stuff, and I just want to ask basic questions. Thank you so much for taking the time. Again, this is awesome. So for someone that is completely beginner flat earther, okay? Can
let me just begin with saying, instead of let's take this based on how this person is coming in hot, I would suggest that you address everything with the appropriate fallacy instead of trying to answer I'm talking to everyone else. That's gonna undoubtedly try to.
We need to explain it like they're 5. Okay. So
yes, please do, please. I am literally 5 years old. Please, I am actually not that smart when it comes to these things. Okay, please, go ahead.
Okay. So, did you go to school?
Kind of.
So when you were like 5 or 6 years old and you went to kindergarten or first grade or wherever, and they told you that the Earth was a globe, what evidence did they show you?
They showed me a ball, like a ball, and they showed me it was like on a wooden stick thing, and then you can like spin it, and like there was like Antarctica in the south, and then there was like the countries and the continents, and it was a ball. They showed me a ball.
Awesome. So
yeah,
if you went to school that same day and they showed you a unicorn, they said unicorns exist, and they showed you a toy unicorn, would you accept that as evidence?
I mean, they said Santa was real, so, and I believed for a very long time that Santa was real. Until I found out that my parents were Santa, and that shattered my...
Well, that's kind of funny that you say that, because NASA is Santa for adults.
No!
Wait, does this person have a channel that has a lot of subs? Is that what you said?
Yeah, like
I don't have that many subs. I don't have that many subs. It's been going downhill.
What's your channel called?
It's called CodeMiko. I used to have a lot of subs, but honestly, like my channel has. Okay. I don't want to bring up my Instagram.
I'm going to give you the line of why we are flat earthers. Most of the people in here have. So there's people, right? People out there for a couple hundred years have claimed that the Earth is a ball spinning in space, in the vacuum of space. Now they make certain claims, right? That the Earth is a ball, that its radius is 3,959 miles, right? And we live on it.
Yeah.
Okay. So science, if you know anything, is supposed to be testable, repeatable, and verifiable, right? So if someone makes a scientific claim, you're supposed to be able to test it through experiment, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So they make these claims. So most people that are flat earthers have gone out and tested these claims themselves to see if, the claims are true. And it turns out they're not.
But tell me more.
Okay. So I'll tell you how
you have to, but please explain it to me like I don't know anything. Okay. I need it takes a long time for me to process.
Okay. So, I don't know where to start. Okay. So we can see things that are way too far away. And so for instance, you can go to Lake Michigan. You can go on the far end of the lake. You can go on the other side of the lake, namely Warren Dunes, and you can see Chicago 52 miles away. Now, if the Earth is a ball, yes, you can. Some of the longest distance photographs from that level are 308 miles.
Oh my God.
So 308 miles is about, I don't know how good you know geography. It's about Boston to Ottawa, Canada.
Wow. So you can see it.
See that far, right? But they claim that the Earth is a ball of 3,959 miles radius. None of the city of Chicago should be visible. It should be over the curve of the Earth. It should be not visible because it's on the other side of the ball, right?
Yes.
So these observations that people have made have led people to say, hey, something is not right. We need to look into this. So people have gone out and made observations, tests with lasers, tests with infrared cameras, tests with radio waves, tests with microwaves, tests with you name it, to see if the Earth really is a ball of the size they say. And the results of these tests are that it's not. Okay, so here we have experiments you can do for yourself and test them, right? Or you can believe strangers that say the world is something else. So we choose to believe what we can test and prove for ourselves by direct demonstration versus what people claim it is, right? Strangers, because people that work for NASA, they're strangers to us, right? I don't know anybody that works for NASA.
But why would they lie about a globe? Why would they make it a globe?
That's a good question. We want to know the same thing because we don't know why. We have no idea why. We just know they are, right? So just like a murder scene, right? If you have a body on the floor and there's a gunshot to the head, you know that person was murdered, but you don't have to know why that person was murdered to know it was a murder, right? We don't not have to know why they're lying. We know they're lying because of the results of tests and experiments.
But why? I just don't understand.
Well, you can speculate, but you can't really know the minds of people, right? People lie for no reason at all. I mean, there could be a very good reason.
I've come up with a very good answer. I'll tell you my answer because it's the one that I think is the most accurate. But this is just my opinion. So number one, the thing is, I can't tell you why someone else that I don't know has lied, but I can tell you that there are many journals, many papers where the people that the mainstream has cherry-picked from will tell us that it's not a fact, but just their prerogative to believe that we are in a heliocentric universe versus anything else. Not born by any scientific evidence, but just by their own speculation. This is words from the horse's mouth. So not from the institutions, but from the people that are talked about in books. So they're telling you right there that what that tells me is that what they're saying differs from what the mainstream would have me believe. That's the best I can do for you.
So is the moon also flat?
Actually, you can't tell if it's flat or not.
Is all the planets flat?
Well, so check this out. The planets, so only in the heliocentric model does the planets, stars, moon have anything to do with the shape of the Earth. But fundamentally, they have nothing to do with the shape of the Earth because human beings tell things are alike by noting similar properties, right? You can't look at the moon, right, and look on anywhere on Earth and say, yes, this looks like the Earth. You can't look at a planet and look at the Earth and say, yes, this looks like the Earth. There's no reason to think that they're the same thing in the first place. But because you already believe, and most people believe that the Earth's a globe, they think that they are similar by default because they already held the belief. See a ball? I already believe this is a ball, so we have to be the same. But there's nothing you actually observe in reality that says they're the same. So if I ask you, list all the things, say Mars. You look up at the sky, you see Mars, that little red dot in the sky. List all the things that you see on Mars from here that are similar to Earth.
What do I see in Mars that's similar to Earth?
Yes, from here. Like if you took a telescope and looked at Mars, and then you looked at any part of Earth, what would you see that's the same?
I don't know, like lights and fireflies?
Fireflies on Mars?
Well, I mean, like, are you asking what exists on Earth that looks like red dots?
Listen, exactly. Nothing on Earth looks like a red dot. Nothing on Earth looks like Saturn. Nothing on Earth looks like any star. There's no reason to think they're the same in the very first place.
I see. I think I kind of understand. So is Mars not a planet?
Before you ask another question.
It's a planet.
Is Mars?
Mars is a planet. Planet is defined as a wandering star. This is how this is the word, what the word means, wandering star. So planets are stars. They look like stars, but they appear to move, right? So they gave the name. They gave those things that they looked at the name planets. Earth can't possibly be a wandering star because no one ever seen the Earth in the sky appearing to move, right? So Earth is not a planet.
So the Earth isn't a planet.
Not even by definition, it's not a planet.
What is it then?
Where you live.
So home?
Yeah, home.
Home. So
look, let me ask you this.
Okay.
How would you prove the shape, profile, or dimension of something?
I don't know. I would just.
Okay, so a table. How would you prove the shape of your table?
It's flat. I just,
how would you prove it? Not just like looking at it, because you can look at tables from different angles and it looks like different things. But how would you prove what it is? You'd get a tape measure, right?
Yeah.
You get a tape measure. You'd measure its dimensions. You'd measure its profile. And then you would know exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's what we do to the Earth.
So you tape measure the Earth?
We tape measure a section of Earth large enough to draw a conclusion. So the Earth is 72% water, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So when you see pictures of the Earth from space, those images show the oceans are curving around the ball, right? There's 72% water. You see curving water everywhere. So whatever the water's doing, the surface of the Earth must be doing as well. So all you have to do is measure the water, then you know what the majority of the Earth's surface is doing. So if you go out and you use lasers, right? And you shoot a laser along a long section of water. If the surface of the Earth is curving and the laser is going straight, eventually the surface of the Earth and the laser should get farther apart from each other, right?
Yeah.
The Earth should curve away from the laser.
Yeah.
This does not happen in reality.
Why? But I mean, how do you? But how does? But when you point your laser at the ocean, at the beach, doesn't it just disappear? Like how do you see it?
You go to the others. Okay, so one test they did was in Lake Isel in the Netherlands. Took a laser 10 feet off the water. So they put it 10 feet off the water. They shined it 25 miles away. So 25 miles away was the target. Now the goal model predicts a target. They're shooting the laser at a target.
Okay.
25 miles away.
Okay.
And if you do the math, that laser 25 miles away, because the Earth is supposed to be curving the water, right? Should be 440 feet in the air, 25 miles away. So if you're 25 miles away, you should have to look up to see the laser because you're away from that laser. But when they actually did this test, the laser was at the same elevation as where it started at. So if the laser's straight and the water stays parallel to the laser, then the Earth is flat. That's the conclusion that can be drawn. And this is just one test. This is lots of tests. There's at least 20 tests where these types of measurements have been done. Two lasers, three lasers, double lasers of different frequency, longer distances, shorter distances. You can do this yourself. See, we don't try to convince anybody to believe that the Earth is flat, to believe the Earth is a globe. We try to convince you to think for yourself And if you really want to know what the shape of the Earth is to go out and test it yourself, because these tests are pretty simple.
Wait, so if I want to shoot a laser and I just shoot a laser and then 25 miles away, it will be on the same place?
Look, if you shot a laser across a lake 25 miles long and you got to the other side, according to the globe, if the Earth is a globe, you should not see that laser.
Yeah.
But you can.
Oh.
Have you ever heard ships go over the horizon? Have you ever heard of this?
No, I have not.
Okay, so one of the so-called globe evidences is that if a boat sails away into the ocean, you'll see the bottom of the boat disappear first.
Yeah.
The mast, and then the top of the mast, and eventually it'll disappear because it's going over the curve of the Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is a rigorous test of that claim, that if you go far enough away, something is going to go over the curve of the Earth and you're not going to be able to see it. So instead of using a boat, we use a high-intensity light, a laser, right, and go far enough away that there should be no doubt as to whether it should be visible or not. And 25 miles is way far away. 440 feet is a 44-story building.
So I've got some burning questions now. I've got some burning questions. What is on the edge of the Earth?
What? Only the globe Earth makes the claim that the Earth has an edge. We don't claim that. We don't, listen, outer space, that thing, that vacuum, the outer space.
Yeah.
That there's planets and stars floating around in. Outer space does not exist.
What?
Outer space is a fantasy.
I'm so confused now. How?
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
Yes.
The void or the vacuum of space doesn't exist. What you see out there does exist. The vacuum of space, as they describe it, does not.
So what exists exactly? I'm so confused. If space does not exist in our way that we're taught, then what is the space that you're talking about?
Okay, we just call space. Well, it's almost like a compilation of words where we're just using the word space. Now, there's space, like the space between me and you. That's a space.
Okay.
In space, they're sensing it. They're saying there's a region of space, right, that has a certain property, that it's a vacuum, right, that there's no matter inside of it, except for planets, stars, spread apart millions of light years.
Yeah.
This is what they say exists. And they say Earth is floating around in this vacuum. We know that can't be true, right? We know that can't be true for a certain reason. It's because the reason is the second law of thermodynamics says that if we have air, right? There's air surrounding the Earth, right?
Yeah.
You're breathing air?
Yeah.
Air, pressurized air, next to a low pressure system, a vacuum, would disperse into that vacuum. So if the Earth was surrounded by air, and that air was surrounded by vacuum, the air would soon be gone because it would disperse into the vacuum.
But isn't it the gravity that holds it all together?
Well, yeah, we hear that oftentimes, but no one can actually demonstrate that with an experiment that it's true, because you can do this experiment, right? You can take a vacuum chamber. You can insert a little bit of gas. Now, so this is how the Earth is. The Earth is gas inside of a vacuum.
Okay.
And they say that the Earth is so big that the gas adheres to the Earth, is sucked down to the surface of the Earth by gravity away from the vacuum. So if we take a vacuum chamber and we insert gas into it, the gas doesn't sink to the bottom next to the Earth. The gas disperses evenly within that vacuum. So you can claim gravity, and anyone can say, yes, it is gravity holding gas to the Earth, but no one can actually demonstrate it with an experiment. In this experiment, which I just described, this is what should happen. What they say. You put the gas in, the gas sinks to the bottom away from the vacuum. Should have vacuum on top, gas on the bottom. But this is not what's observed. Put gas in a vacuum chamber, it evenly distributes throughout the vacuum chamber.
So space has oxygen?
There is no space. There is no outer space vacuum.
But what is outside of the Earth?
Nobody knows.
So there's no edge.
There's no edge. That exactly, because that was the point, right? The edge. So when people say, "Hey, is there an edge?" They're thinking that the Earth is a disk in space orbiting the sun or floating around in this outer space vacuum. No, the Earth is all there is. The Earth is not embedded in some larger space. Everything is embedded within the Earth. The Earth is the embedding space. It's not the other.
So okay, so like I looked at some flat Earth maps, right? And they have like Antarctica and at the edge of like an outline, and then the center is like the North Pole.
Yes.
Right? So
I wouldn't call that a flat Earth map, but we can go with it.
So, but what does a flat Earth map look like then? If there's no edge.
Well, all we know is if you go south from anywhere on Earth, eventually you'll cross the Southern Ocean, and you'll eventually hit a continent. Well, call it a continent, call it whatever you want, and you'll hit ice. And that ice extends with no plants, no animals, no trees, no nothing, just forever as far as you can go in any direction. So no one knows where the edge of the Earth is, where the end is. Nobody's ever reached it.
So the Antarctica is just limitless.
As far as we know, it could be limitless. Listen, it only has to be 10,000 miles across to be effectively limitless, because the conditions for being there are so harsh that you can't survive. We're talking about an average temperature of negative. If you go far enough inland from the Southern Ocean, the temperature eventually gets to negative 90 degrees Celsius. Put it this way, if you spit into the air, the spit would freeze solid before it hit the ground.
That's cold.
Yeah,
that's
it's
really,
cold.
really cold.
And nothing can survive. And there's no water. There's no running water. There's no trees. There's nothing. So imagine you said, hey, I'm going to find this edge of the Earth. And then you're going to get all your gear and you're going to go. You're not going to make it very far because you have no running water. So you have to lug all your water with you, right? Antarctica has an average humidity of 20 to 30%. So you have to drink 1.5 gallons of water per day to not dehydrate and die. So
that's a lot.
Yeah. So now you have to carry it with you because you have no water. There's no running water. The longest river in Antarctica is 1.5 kilometers long.
You would die.
And it's larger than Australia. So think about that for a second.
That's huge.
Five rivers of running water, the longest being 1.5 kilometers, and it's larger than Australia. You're going to die of dehydration. You can't, there's no fuel in which to even melt the water. You're out of luck. So people are like, where's the edge? Hey, let's get into an airplane. Yeah, you can think of anything you want to do, but so I want to get crazy minutia of like what the Navy did. Like, so the Navy surveyed Antarctica, and if you look at some of you can go online and look at all the images, and all you see is white. So they went up on airplanes that take photographs of the ground, right? So if you look at the images, all they are is white. They're just white sheets. Image after image, we're talking hundreds of thousands of images. So it's an airplane. It automatically takes photographs like every 60 seconds, right? They have cameras that stick out the side of the airplane.
Wait. Airplanes? You're saying that when we're going on the airplane?
Yes, they surveyed Antarctica. What do you think is Antarctica?
So have you ever been on the airplane?
Have I been on an airplane? Yes, many times.
How come it like there's like, you know, like how come you can go around like, you know, like you go from one direction of like Europe and then to like Asia and then back to America and then back to Europe?
Okay, good circumnavigation.
Yeah. How
Okay, because circumnavigation, the key word is in it, circle. You go in a circle.
Oh.
When you navigate with a compass, the compass points north.
Oh.
Right? And so if you're always going right-handed to north, you eventually just go in a circle and end up back in the same place.
What about the sun? Why is the sun in one part of the Earth and then not the other part?
Because the sun circuits above the Earth and does the same thing. It circles above the Earth.
So the sun is smaller than the Earth?
Possibly.
And then it circles around the Earth.
Above the Earth, yes.
Above the Earth. Why? How?
Why? I don't know. Ask God. How would I know? I didn't make it.
I see. Oh, I have so many. I'm so intrigued.
Water? I mean, come on.
What about satellites? Well, the satellite stuff that takes pictures of the Earth, and what about satellite?
Well, the problem with satellites is we can't verify their existence independently. So the commentators ask a Glober, they say things like, what about satellites, like you just said? I said, okay, where is this satellite? Well, they're up in space. Okay, so give me, measure, where it is. Do what's called triangulation. Triangulate its altitude and speed, right, and size. And no one can ever do this. So, there's a difference between claiming things exist and actually being able to prove they exist, right? So the claim is there's a space station. It's going around the Earth at 17,000 miles per hour. It's 300 feet wide. Okay, so there's this claim out there. So ask a person that thinks that this is true. Okay, now let's prove this, right? We're going to prove that it's at 300 miles or 250 miles elevation. So we're going to triangulate it using telescope or whatever you want. So that means you view it from two viewpoints, you get an angle, and then you do some math, and then you get its altitude. No one has ever done this. No one can ever do this. Right? There's so many problems with it. I'll give you an example.
Okay.
Have you seen photographs from that claim to be from the International Space Station?
Yes, NASA.
Okay. Do they show around Earth?
I mean, it looks round to me.
Okay. Have you ever done the math or geometry to figure out whether it should look round from the altitude they are at?
I don't really know how to do math. I only know multiplication and addition and subtraction.
So I'll tell you. From the elevation of 250 miles above a ball that's 8,000 miles in diameter, the horizon would still not be curved. That's nowhere near high enough. But the images show a curved Earth, right? That's what they show.
Okay.
Even people that are professionals, planetarium directors, PhDs, they all say that elevation is not high enough to see the Earth as a ball.
Yeah.
Well, I'll put it this way. If you had a beach ball that was 6 feet tall,
okay,
right?
Yeah.
So taller than you probably, right? 6 feet tall.
Yeah, that's very big.
How far, if you had a little model International Space Station, how far away from that ball do you think that International Space Station would be?
Oh, okay. I'm really bad at math.
Okay. So listen, 2 millimeters.
What does that mean?
The width of a pencil.
A pencil?
Yeah, now the width of a pencil. Okay, the width of a pencil above a beach ball that's 6 feet tall.
Yes, that's a big difference.
It's a big difference. Now, do you think that you could see the curve of the Earth from being that far away, being that close to the ball?
You can't see it. So the Earth.
Yeah. So what's up with the pictures? Hello? That's the point. Is that these images, right? The pictures that they take do not represent reality. And not only that, we can just do the math and disprove that. But we have measurements of the surface of the Earth that proves that what those images show can't possibly represent reality. For the simple fact, water is not curving. And if water is not curving, then the Earth can't be a ball because the Earth is 72% water. It's simple logic. You can't have a ball without a curved surface. And if the surface of the Earth isn't curving, then it's not a ball. No matter what they say about stars, no matter what they say about the sun, no matter what you say about satellites, GPS, or any other thing you can think of, we can go out and we can measure the surface of the Earth. And if the surface of the Earth is not curving, then it's not a ball.
Okay.
This is a simple test that they convinced you and lots of other people that you have to be a super smart scientist, right? You have to be a genius PhD, and they're the only people that can figure out the shape of the Earth. That is incorrect. They make a certain claim that the Earth is a ball of particular size. We can go out into the real world and test it, whether it's true or not. And when we go out and test it, we find out that it is not true, that claim.
It's the laser stuff, right?
Well, that's one of them. I mean, laser test is one. There's optical observations. I'll give you another, for instance. In 1918, that's a long time ago, right? 1918.
Yeah, it's a very long time ago.
1918, they used to communicate from the United Kingdom, Great Britain, England, with Australia by radio. That is 10,000 miles away. That is...
Yeah.
Okay. So this is before satellites existed. This is before there was radio towers, right? This is the beginning of radio. Radio is brand new. There was probably only like less than 30 radio towers in the entire world. How did they talk to the other side of the ball? This is like being on the
radio waves.
Yeah, but how did they get around the ball to the other side of the Earth?
Through gravity, because it makes a curve. Because if you're going to the
gravity bends radio waves.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. No.
Why not?
Because it doesn't.
Oh.
Well, I mean, do they even make that kind of claim, Indio? Do they say that gravity bends radio waves around the curve of the Earth? Like it would have to be a specific rate, right? Like how basically they say light rays.
The Earth would have to be a black freaking hole.
There's a black hole?
The Earth would have to be a black hole for it to bend radio waves around the Earth.
Wait, are black holes real?
No.
What about comets? What about falling stars?
No, wait, hold on. That's a big one. I'd like Indio if you can. Because when I first not me. I'm saying if I can ask you, because you're doing well. I think this is a good clip. I don't want to muck it up too much.
Yeah.
So now, black holes, that's one of the last things that I found interesting before I entered this discussion. And it used to scare the hell out of me, like, oh, what if one day a black hole gets so big that we get sucked into it? I don't want my brain to go, you know. But so what is a black hole actually?
It's a hole that is black.
No. I'm asking Indio. Like, what is a black hole according to, these people that do the math?
What is it? It's a collapsed star, according to them.
Not the imaginary thing, but like, isn't it because of a mathematical error?
Isn't it a gravity thing,
No. What he wants the mathematical reason why they say black holes exist. The mathematical reason is because it's called a singularity. There's a mathematical singularity where pretty much they have to divide by zero.
Wait, you can't divide by zero.
Exactly, and they say that's where the black hole is.
Wait, what? Wait, if you divide by zero, that's where the black hole is?
Well, yes, because, they have mathematical, they have geometry, they do math too, right? And if you do the math and there is a mass that bends space-time greater than what's called the Schwarzschild radius, it becomes what's called a singularity, and that's what a black hole is. The singularity is because the the metric in that location is 0, and that's what they have to divide to. When I say metric, that means the yardstick that they have to measure by. Now imagine like you had a ruler, right? So a metric listen, now say you have a ruler.
Okay.
So I'm going to try to make this really hard to understand. Not hard to understand. So, okay, if you have a ruler, right? And depending on where you put the ruler, it changes like the length of the ruler, right? So imagine the ruler is made of rubber instead of being solid, right? So you can stretch it, you can compress it, and right? And you can take this ruler, and then when you try to measure something, if there's a lot of mass there, then that ruler gets squished. Eventually, the ruler gets so squished, all the numbers on the ruler are 0. And they say where all the numbers on that ruler are 0 is a black hole. Yeah,
so
makes a lot of sense. Nope.
So a black hole is a squished ruler?
Basically, yes.
That's just dumb.
So so a black hole is a squished, so it's a 0.
Yes. So if, like you looked at a ruler, right? So like say you had inches, say you had one ruler like and where the lines they denoted inches, and another ruler it said foot, and another it said millimeters. The ruler that they're measuring this with, there's no units. The units are 0. So they say that's where the black hole is. This is way above your pay grade. I mean, this is like differential geometry, and I don't even know we should be going down this road.
Yeah, this is way too advanced. I can't compute.
Yeah, let's just stick to the simple stuff, right?
Okay, yeah. Let's please.
So I'm going to just attack this from sheer logic, right? So, sheer logic. So in logic, there's something called an axiom. In logic, that means an axiom is something that is self-evident. You don't have to prove it because it's so self-evident, right? So if you go to the ocean, does the Earth appear flat?
The Earth goes like really far, and then there's a line, and then you can't see anything anymore.
Yeah, the horizon, right? Does that horizon line appear flat?
I mean,
I'm only asking you how it appears. I'm not asking you what it is. I'm just asking you what it looks like.
I mean, it looks all atmospheric and foggy and watery.
So it doesn't appear flat. What shape does it appear to be?
Like hazy, like shaded. Hazy? Like you know, like when you look far out, it gets all shady and like hazy and like because
you see spray and all that stuff.
It fades.
Yeah, well, on a clear day, you can actually see a well-defined horizon. So you go anywhere. You can climb to the top of Mount Everest. It doesn't matter where you go. The Earth appears flat. If you go to the desert, the Earth appears flat. This is why thousands of years ago, they thought that the Earth was flat, and people think that it's an archaic idea. But that's the way the Earth appears to everybody. This is an axiom. This is a logical axiom. It's self-evident that the Earth appears flat. I don't need to convince nobody of it. I can just say, hey, just go outside of your house. Go on your roof, take a look. Go on top of a mountain, take a look. I can go to the ocean, take a look. The Earth appears flat.
So then it actually is true that you can see like Russia from Alaska?
Yes. Yeah, that's well known. You can see Russia from Alaska. They're only like 7 miles apart or something.
Oh my gosh.
The Aleutian Islands are something like 13 miles from Russia. That's not very far.
That's crazy. So when have you become a flat earther? Like when did you like, you know, because everybody's taught that the Earth is a globe. When did you figure out that the Earth was flat?
When I tested what they say. So, like most people, I just believe it like everybody else because, you know, your parents say the Earth's a ball. Teachers say the Earth's a ball. They tell you only crazy sailors thought they would sail off the edge, and they thought there were sea drift monsters and yada, yada, yada. So Christopher Columbus proved the Earth's a ball. So this is the way I grew up. This is the way all of us grew up. Everybody in the server that's a flat earther used to believe the Earth was a globe. But each of us probably saw something that made us doubt it, right? So in my particular case, I saw the Chicago skyline. Chicago skyline 50 miles away, and the reason was that it's a mirage. So I knew it wasn't a mirage because mirages have particular characteristics that you can see, and I knew that couldn't possibly be true. So I decided I was going to investigate, has anybody actually proven the Earth is a ball? Is there actual proof, measurement proof that the Earth's a ball? And I investigated it that way. And after, 6-7 months of looking into it, I realized there is no evidence that the Earth's a ball. There's none. Zero.
Can I take some questions from the chat?
From our chat or your chat? Yeah. From your chat? Go for it.
Yeah. Hey, guys, any questions?
As long as they're civil.
This is very, very fascinating. I'm actually very, very fascinated. This is really cool. What's on the bottom of the Earth?
This is the same question as the edge. The Earth is not embedded in anything. There's no bottom. There is no bottom. The Earth is it. You can't go underneath the Earth, outside the Earth. Somebody asking what's at the bottom of the Earth is like me asking what's at the bottom of the universe, or what's at the edge of the universe. Can I fall off? People say space is expanding, and I say what's space expanding into? This is called an infinite regression fallacy, right?
What's that?
Okay, so if you ask me, where's the edge of the Earth? And I say, well, it's 10,000 miles to the south. And then you go, okay, where's the edge of that? And then I go 10,000 miles to the south of that. And then you say, okay, now where's the edge of that? 10,000 miles to the south of that. We can do this forever, infinitely. We can forever keep asking where the edge of something is.
Can you go up out of the space and go out of the atmospheric,
if you watch a rocket take off, you do a time lapse, it makes a parabolic arc and comes back down into the horizon. Parabolic arc is just the McDonald's arches. They go up, they come down.
And then, so they never go to the space?
No.
Then where do they go?
Space.
There's a lot of questions about where they go. I mean, there is video of them pulling towing rockets into Miami out of the Caribbean, because they launch off Cape Canaveral. So, I mean, where do they go? I don't know.
So the moon landing is actually not real.
The moon landing is phonier than a $3 bill.
Why did they do it?
That's a good question. I don't know. The moon landing is one of the easiest things to prove is fake. It's literally, seriously, one of the easiest things.
Do you believe in aliens and stuff like that?
No, not at all.
Ah, I see.
Aliens.
So
legal aliens, yes.
What about the International Space Station?
I think I covered that.
So
I covered it. What about it? There's three international space stations. One's in Building 9 Space Mock-Up Center, Houston, Texas. The other one's in the Neutral Buoyancy Center that NASA owns. And the other one's purported to be in space.
Well, what about meteor showers?
What about them?
What are meteor showers?
I don't know. So have you ever heard of rains of animals?
Raining animals?
Raining animals.
I don't think it. I've never seen rain.
I've never seen it either, but it's well documented. You can Google it. Just look up rain of animals. So there's been times where frogs, fish, birds, you name it, cows falling out of the sky. Did they fall from space? Did they fall from space?
There's cows falling out of the sky?
No, Google it. I never heard this shit before. I just Googled it and I'm like, what?
Rains of animals, man. Did they fall from space?
What?
Just because things fall out of the sky doesn't mean they came from outer space, man. Things fall out of the sky. Okay? I'm sorry.
I've heard of birds and fish.
Wait, I'm sorry.
Where do you think cats and dogs comes from?
Wait, are you saying that they actually rain cats and dogs?
Yes. It's well documented. It has rained cats, dogs, fish, birds, cows, you name it.
Wait, where? When?
All over the Earth. For the last thousands of years.
There has to be some logical explanation for that stuff.
Wow. Why don't you Google it?
Fishes too.
Blood, rain, milk, rain, like, listen, it's documented. All sorts of things fall out of the sky.
Frogs.
Wait, but hold on a second.
Wait, no. Don't wait. Before you ask another question, would you mind Googling images of it and sharing it with your chat? Just share it with your chat so they see what we're seeing.
Okay, rain. What's it called again?
Rain of animals.
Rain of animals. Images. Okay, here. Hold on. I'll show them. So, this stuff, right? The rain of. But I have a question. Have you ever experienced this?
Personally, me, no, never.
But if you have never experienced it, and all of the data is you experience, like you said that everything that you document is something that you can measure and experience, right? But you've never experienced it, so how do you know if this is true?
You're confused. I never said I had to directly do it myself.
Oh, yeah, I'm actually very confused.
It depends on the nature of the claim. So this is how you evaluate. So Carl Sagan, you know who that is? Carl Sagan was a famous astronomer. Okay. He did a series called Cosmos back in the 70s. And he's famously quoted a couple quotes. I mean, he believed in space. He's the one who actually came up with the theory of the greenhouse effect. Based upon his observations of Mars, he came up with the idea of the greenhouse effect. So anyway, which we're living with, what they think global warming is caused by and all that stuff. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. One thing he says, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. Do you think that there's a place you can go to where you drop things and they don't fall and you float around? Do you think that is an extraordinary claim?
I mean, if you go up into the airplane enough, you can if you go past a certain point with an airplane, you can go to a place where you get like the gravity doesn't, affect you as much anymore, and then you can come back down with the airplane. And
yeah, you're talking about a zero-G plane. That's because the plane is falling. When you're in a zero-G plane and you're so-called quote-unquote weightless, you're falling. You just can't. You and the plane are falling together. You just can't tell the plane is falling because you're inside. But if the plane was transparent, right? The plane was just made of glass and you could see outside. You would see that you and the plane are just falling together.
Oh.
You're not weightless. It's just alongside you.
Oh, I always thought that you were just flying and floating.
And this is what they call a space station. The point I was trying to make, though, is have you ever been to a place where you could drop something and it doesn't fall to the ground?
No. Water! I've been in swimming.
Guess.
Yeah, you can like drop something in water and then.
Well, I meant air, but whatever.
You know what's crazy about water? You're on the Earth where it is claimed that gravity is pulling things to the ground, but when you're in water, that's not exempt. You still have a ground, but you're not being pulled towards the ground. And in fact, a lot of people float, some better than others, but there's no force of gravity pulling you to the bottom of a pool or a lake or an ocean.
Wait, but I fall down when I'm very bad at swimming. I actually almost drowned a few times. I go dunk into the water. I definitely sink.
Have you ever swam in an area like an ocean that had that was more dense with salt than say a lake?
See, the Salt Lake City in Utah, I think.
Well, if you swim in something very salty, you will float much better than in a freshwater lake or something like that.
Yeah, because of the salt, right? It's the density or something. It makes you float or something, right?
Yeah, so your ability to float is medium dependent. Gravity be damned.
I'm sorry.
Irrespective of gravity, your floating is medium dependent. So it depends on the medium, aka the salt water, not gravity.
But you can't. I mean, couldn't you still fall into the water and drown? Right?
If you let go all of the air from your lungs, then you fall down. But if you have air in your lungs, that is the buoyant force from the air pushing you up.
Yeah, so what?
Yeah, it has nothing to do with gravity.
But doesn't gravity sink you? And then if gravity were to sink you, then you would not get back up. All right, do you know how strong gravity is? Let's just think about this. Do you know how strong gravity is? It's very strong. It's very, very strong. Okay, now the Earth is spinning, right? Yeah. All right, perfect. And it's orbiting and it's going through space, right? Yeah. Okay. So now we take all these speeds. Now all these speeds are circular motion, okay? Anything on an object that's going in a circle will try to counteract this force. What is the force that is holding us on? Gravity. See, so gravity is super duper strong. Okay, you need to remember this. It's holding all the water, it's holding all the buildings, it's holding everything on Earth. Okay? Yes. Okay, we both agree that gravity is super strong. And if gravity was true, this force of gravity would always be constant because it said that we're moving at a constant speed, therefore we don't feel the motion, yada, 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 correct? Yeah. Okay, in that case, we would be flat on the Earth because of how strong gravity is. Like, the fact that helium balloons can fly and that butterflies can fly proves that gravity is not there. There's no downward force pulling something to a big mass. That doesn't exist. Amen.
Okay, so what we got off what I was talking about. So it's talking about fantastic claims. The claims that people say about outer space are fantastic. They really are. They're outside of ordinary everyday human experience. No one you know has ever dropped something and it didn't fall to the ground. No one you know has ever floated. No one you know has ever experienced anything that they claim the properties of space have. No one's experienced that. That's when it comes to an extraordinary claim, yes, you do need to demonstrate that. It should be provable yourself. So a tenet of science is all claims to theories must be falsifiable by experiment. Okay? I don't have to falsify that myself. I don't have to do it directly myself. But in practice, I should be able to. Right? I shouldn't have to, but I should be able to, in theory. The thing is, their claims can't be demonstrated. They can't be practically demonstrated in any way, shape, or form. Right? They can only be conceptualized and thought about. So, see, this is kind of like where flat earthers come from. We're empiricists, okay? We are direct realists. We don't care about concepts and ideas. We want practical demonstrations of the claims. If you're going to claim you're in space, right, we want you to demonstrate it. You're going to claim that there's an ISS space station 18,000 miles in the air, or 250 miles in the air and going 18,000 miles per hour. We want you to be able to measure that. You're making a claim of a speed, a distance, and a size. We want you to be able to measure that, or me to be able to measure that myself. The thing is, we can't. So it's just a claim that stands without evidence. So claims like range of animals, those are well documented. And I'm sure if I wanted to, I could go to the places where they were and dig up the corpses of the animals.
So it's, but what's the difference between well documented and someone else is well documented? Like, because anything could be well documented, right? Well,
I doubt a whole town was lying.
I mean, the whole Earth is lying by saying that the globe is round.
Astronauts, how many people do you think have claimed they went to space?
But isn't the entire Earth saying that the Earth is round? Isn't everybody saying the Earth?
Yeah, but who actually was? Who is in a position to know the shape of the Earth? Know for a fact, not believe. To know.
Astronauts.
So how many of those are there?
I don't know.
It's less than 600. There's 600,
really.
600 people. What do you mean, not really?
No, I said none, really.
None really. Yes, exactly. 600 people claim to be astronauts. That's over a period of 60 to 70 years. That's 10 a year for 60 to 70 years. They claim that they went to space and circled a ball Earth. It's 10 people a year.
Get it? Astronauts.
Yeah, exactly. Knots.
Astronauts. Right? What does knots mean? What does... Oh, like these nuts? Like these nuts?
No.
Like that?
No, nut.
Huh?
Holy crap, somebody take the freaking energy drink away from her.
Oh, come on. I'm always just hyper.
No, you're fine. You're fine. You're fine. This is a very pleasant conversation.
Like NOT, like not, because they're not an astronaut.
Oh, wait, isn't it spelled N-A-U-T?
Not if you spell it N-O-T, and N-A-U-T means zero.
Or N-U-T, then you get astronauts, like these nuts. Sorry, it's a these nuts joke. It's supposed to be
But I think
funny.
that also has something to do with smiles.
It was
yeah,
funny.
These
It was.
nuts. It's supposed to be funny.
It's like what do you call it? Sea travel, right? Seafaring. That's why they call them ships, even though they're not ships. They're just missiles.
There should be called seats. Because
they should just be called obelisks, like they really are.
Oh.
But anyway, back to Indio's point about
the point is that there's a very small number of people on this earth, most of them are dead now, that claim to have direct knowledge that the Earth's a ball. Everybody else is just a believer. Everybody else, all 7 billion, 8 billion, whatever number of billion we're up to right now, everybody else is just a believer. That is a 100% fact. I'm not making it up. The only people, only 23 people even claim to have seen the entire Earth as a ball. Right? The 23 people that claim that said they went to the moon, that small group is the only ones that claim they've seen the full Earth. Okay, so this very small group of people, you have 8 billion people saying, yes, I'm going to believe this very small group of people, and I'm going to base my entire existential reality, my life, and all my life decisions on their words. That is the ultimate tomfoolery, man. It's silly.
And another thing that I want to tie in, another thing that I want to tie, just to tie into Indio's point. So now there's a whole town, let's say, like he said. Do we think that a whole town is lying? Okay, maybe they are, maybe they are. But I can go to this town and investigate. Can any of us go to space and investigate?
I mean, we could.
It would way too much money.
By becoming an astronaut?
How many and how do you? You know what's funny? My entire time in school, no one's ever told me how I could become an astronaut. They just said I could be one, but there were never any classes. How does one become an astronaut?
Where's astronaut school?
I mean, I could try to look it up. Let's see, how to become an astronaut.
First of all, you got to be a pilot for the.
Okay, you have to be a U.S. citizen. You have
Freemason.
That's not true. You can also be a cosmonaut.
What's that?
It's Russian space agency.
This is NASA. Okay, so this is NASA's thing. Possess a master's degree in STEM field, including engineering, blah, blah,
NASA
blah.
hasn't set anyone up in like 20 years.
Have at least 2 years of related professional experience, blah, 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 blah. Be able to pass a NASA long duration flight astronaut physical. So I guess you just have to be like really smart and engineering and fit or something. Oh, by the way, I have a a question. Okay, so I have a question. So this is kind of a excuse me if this is sensitive, and it might be sensitive, but I have a question. So everything needs to be it's either well documented, or you guys can measure it yourself, right?
It needs to be verifiable.
Listen. This is the scientific method. This isn't my method. This is the scientific method.
Okay, so
let me ask you something. Do you know what the definition of pseudoscience is?
No.
The definition of pseudoscience by the person that invented the word, his name is Karl Popper. He's an early 20th century philosopher of science. Pseudoscience is defined as claims or theories that cannot be falsified by experiment. Okay? So if anything outside of that is pseudoscience, right? If someone says, I went to space and I'm on the International Space Station and I cannot falsify that by experiment, what is it? The claim is pseudoscience. By definition.
I see.
And I'll give you a reason. The reason that is, and there's a very well-founded reason for that. The reason we try to falsify, so scientists don't try to prove claims correct. They try to prove claims incorrect. They try to prove the theory's wrong. That's how it's supposed to work. And I'll give you a reason. So if I have a theory, and my theory is all swans in the world are white, I don't go around the world looking for white swans to prove my theory correct. I go around the world looking for a black swan.
I've seen a black swan, though. I just saw one last weekend.
Black swans are in Australia. They didn't know they existed initially. They thought the world thought all swans were white. Well, the Western world thought all swans were white, right? So if your theory is that all swans are white, finding a trillion white swans or 10 trillion white swans doesn't prove anything. It only proves that likely swans are white. But if you find one black swan, it proves that theory completely wrong, no matter how many white swans you found. No matter how much supporting evidence for what all swans are white there was, just finding one singular exception proves the theory wrong. This is why we falsify things and we don't affirm things. So there's lots of claims on the table. The Earth is a ball, 3,959-mile radius. Ships go over the horizon. There's a Coriolis effect. There's a core. There's a skit in space. GPS works by there's all these claims, right? All these claims need to be testable. They need to be falsifiable by experiment. I need to be able to go out and test those claims, or the claims are not scientific and they're just people talking.
Wait, does that mean most of flat earthers are atheists?
What?
No.
What the hell are you talking about? Listen, the existence or non-existence of God is not a scientific question. Okay?
Oh.
That's a metaphysical question. And the requirement of science is the moment you ask a metaphysical question, you're no longer doing science by the definition of science. So as soon as you say, what is God? You can't scientifically prove God because science does not inquire into the existence of God. Science inquires into the natural world.
I see.
So if you look at the definition of science, it's investigation and observation of the natural world. It's not investigation and observation of the metaphysical world or the spiritual world or some other world. It's the natural world. So people saying you can't prove God scientifically, no duh, it's impossible because science doesn't deal with the question of God. It's outside the purview of science.
Can I ask you guys some personal feeling questions?
Yeah, I guess.
Because you know how there's a lot of stigma against flat earthers, and there's a lot of people that don't, a lot of globe earthers, and how do you guys deal with being stigmatized all the time?
Don't care.
I see.
Look, it doesn't. Listen, when you're dealing with what's objectively true, you don't care what other people think. Right? If a bunch of people came up to me, the whole world thought that water didn't boil at 100 degrees Celsius at standard atmospheric pressure, they could pick on me, call me names, they could do whatever. I know it's true, and I can prove it. people can pick on me and say, yes, the Earth isn't flat, it's a globe, blah, blah, blah. They can talk all they want. I can prove the Earth is flat. I know the Earth is flat from direct experience, my own personal observations, my own personal measurements. I can prove it. They can claim it's a globe, and they can't prove it. They can only talk. So why do I care what they say? Because talk is cheap, right? Mm-hmm. The way to prove something to somebody, if I want to prove something to you, I just have to practically demonstrate it. Are you going to deny your own eyes?
I mean, honestly, I deny a lot of things. I'm like, I have those. Hey, do you guys ever have those existential questions where you're like, what am I? And then you're like, what am I looking like?
The Earth is an existential question.
Huh?
The shape of the Earth is an existential question.
Is the shape of the Earth an existential question?
No, I'm saying it is. It is an existential question. Where am I is an existential question.
True. Very, very true. This has been so fascinating. Wait, so what age did you become a flat earther?
5 years ago, so 40-something, 43.
Wait, so you've been a globe earther for most of your life?
Yep. The first movie I ever saw was Star Wars.
Well, how do you feel about Star Wars now?
It's fiction. It was fiction before, it's still fiction.
I mean, do you still like Star Wars?
Yeah, I watch space movies. It's fiction.
Space movies are pretty fucking cool, aren't they?
Do you ever watch Lord of the Rings because there's no such thing as elves?
Dude, I love Lord of the Rings.
I watched the 100. That's one of the most amazing series I've ever seen.
Bro, which one?
Actually,
the 100.
Yeah, that's a good one. Actually, if you think about it, the elites aren't what you think they are.
What do you mean, the elites?
They might actually be the elvens. L-ites. Elites. L-ites.
Oh my god! So, are there any other, what modern day say, like, conspiracy theorists? Like, you know how they say, they put flat Earth as a conspiracy theory, or like,
which I think is incorrect.
Is there any other ones that you believe in that you want to share?
What one I really believe in, this is the ultimate conspiracy theory, is the 9/11 conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
The official one. See, I believe the official one, the official conspiracy theory, that there was 19 hijackers that hijacked 3 planes, and 2 planes knocked down 3 buildings. I believe that conspiracy.
Oh, wait. Guys. I actually don't think we can talk about this on my platform. Yeah,
no, see, you know the 9/11 Commission report that was released by Congress. That's the
no. I really
Building 6.
No. I really can't.
I believe in that. The official story is a conspiracy theory. You know that, right?
Anyways,
let's
19 people in boxes.
Conspiracy
theory is a conspiracy theory against Timothy McVeigh that he was a patsy the whole time.
Time out. Are you trying to convey that it is okay to talk about, or?
No, we can't.
No, not you. I know. I'm trying to help you out. Because it's just like when we say we can't bring up the Fauci. I don't even want to say it because now we have 2 streams that are worried. So she's saying, well, I'd rather not talk about that because we're live streaming on her channel.
But I was going with the government conspiracy. I wasn't even going with the other one.
She can't.
No Coco Juju, guys.
We can't even talk about the official 9/11 and support the government.
Indio.
What?
Indio, there's a question in her stream right now. It said, will you show your proof?
Proof of what?
A proof of flat Earth. Everyone said no. There was like 113 people that voted no.
Which one does he want?
I don't know. Just how do you prove that the Earth is flat? Go ahead.
How do you prove the Earth is flat? The Earth is 71% water, and if water's not curving, the Earth is not curving. It's real simple.
Okay, there's one.
So
get wrecked.
I don't know how. Like, what do you want me to post it? So Google FE Core, FECore.org. It's a nonprofit. They did a series of laser tests. You can go look at it there. They got the PDF, all the measurements. You can go look at the 7 measurements they did. Some of them were 3 weeks apart. They took meteorological data. The laser was donated. It cost $50,000. Had a collimator on the laser that was 0.08 millirad beam divergence. So 25 miles, the spread of the beam is only 2 meters. What they measured was that from 25 miles away, the beam was only 1.5 meters off the ground. When the globe model predicts that it is 127 meters off the ground. This is 4 feet and 440 feet. The difference between the prediction and what was actually measured is 2 orders of magnitude. This isn't a measurement error. This isn't, oh, we made a mistake, we read the tape measure wrong. This is a 2 order of magnitude difference from prediction versus what was measured. This is not just a mistake.
Here's another one. Here's 180.
Can I ask a question from the chat? How do you guys know that the Earth is 71% water?
Well, sail around, man. Across the Pacific. I mean, of course, that's
in the ocean. What do you know about an astronaut in the ocean?
I mean,
we don't know. We don't know.
It's exactly 71% water, but we know the majority of the Earth is water. We know that. It only has to be 50 point anything percent, right? It only has to be. It doesn't even have to be 51% because how many flat spots make a ball?
Coincidentally, the human body is about 70% water.
1% flat water and it's still a ball? How about 2% flat water or 3%? Like how much a percentage of a ball can be flat and it still be called a ball?
I have no idea.
None.
0.
Yeah, it has to always curve.
Balls curve, dude. So you just don't realize that a ball curves in every direction. Every direction. They always show you that you're on top of a ball in some orthographic side view. But you should look left, right, north, south, east, west, northwest, southwest, north, southeast. And it's always curving away from you, no matter what direction you look at. This is nothing anybody experiences.
Someone's asking why.
You've never experienced the Earth as a ball. No one you know has experienced the Earth as a ball. No one they know has ever experienced the Earth as a ball. None of you. None of you. You've only ever experienced the Earth as flat and motionless. This is 100% fact. This is not my opinion. The idea that, you have an idea that you live on a ball, but what you directly experience with your senses is that the Earth is flat. This is what I was talking about in Axiom. It is self-evident that the Earth appears flat and motionless. This is self-evident. It's undeniable to anybody alive. There is no globe axiom.
This is
There's
really,
nothing.
really
Did you
bad.
explain?
Well,
Did you explain to them?
You've never woke up in the morning, right, and walked outside your door and said, "Holy shit, this is one huge ball." Ever. No one's ever done that. You never went up on a plane and said, "Damn, this is one huge ball." Never went up on a mountain and said, "Damn, this is one huge ball." You don't experience anything to indicate that the Earth is a ball, ever.
I just like balls, and I like to play sports. I like sports.
Has anybody explained to her who started NASA?
I love sports. Yeah, can you guys explain that to me?
Project Paperclip, there was a bunch of Nazi scientists that were experimenting during the war, World War II. Those scientists were paperclipped, and they were saved from the Nuremberg trials for war crimes. And a lot of them went into our medical fields. Our military-industrial complex absorbed them because they were working on weapons. Chief weapon that they were working on was the Manhattan Project. However, what they ended up doing is Wernher von Braun, right? You know who that guy is?
Nope.
The father of NASA? Wernher von Braun?
He was in charge of the V2 rockets. Yeah, V1 and V2 rockets.
Vengeance 1 and Vengeance 2. He was a Nazi. And then you have Jack Parsons, who was like the inventor of American rocketry, really, with American rocket fuel, a better rocket fuel. Jack Parsons, right? So you had Jack Parsons Lab in California, which was renamed JPL, or Jet Propulsion Labs.
Tell her what's on Wernher von Braun's tombstone.
Wait. I actually want to ask more about you guys and what you guys do for the Flat Earth Discord and stuff like that. Like, do you guys do you guys stay in the voice and then go through people's questions every day, or how does it all work in the Flat Earth Discord?
24/7.
Is there? Are you guys?
Listen, I'll tell you I'll give you a little short history of this. So we started. So ODDTV is a YouTube channel. Someone started a Discord forum. That was a different server than this one. That server ended up with something like 27,000 people, and for reasons I'm not going to get into, that server was deleted and tanked, and we created this new one. But it's all the same people, basically, just a different server. Anyway, point is, I don't know, about 3-4 years ago, we started live streaming on YouTube. And you can just go on YouTube, search 24/7 Flat Earth Discord, and you'll find our stream, right? I think we're almost up to 2,000 episodes. Each episode is like 11 hours long, 24 hours a day. There's people in here answering questions, because there's a lot of things people think about. So you asked earlier about what do you think about people that ridicule you and say things about you? Well, the reason people have ideas about what we think or why we think it, but those ideas are 99.9% of the time, they're incorrect. And if they want to know what a flat earther thinks or how they think or why they think the earth is flat and not a globe, they can just come in here and ask us. They don't have to watch TV or get a second opinion or ask somebody else. They can just ask us directly, right? So there's people here 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's been that way for probably going on 5 years now. So people want to come here, whatever. But listen, I'm going to tell you right off the bat, we have zero tolerance for trolls and liars. Zero. You troll, you're banned. You lie, you're banned. So if you come in here and say you're a pilot and that you fly over the North Pole when you fly LAX to Japan and just tell a blatant lie like that, you're going to get banned, right? Because what's the point of talking to someone that lies? There's no point into it, right? There's just no point. We just want to deal with honest people. If we have a disagreement about a fact or an opinion, that's one thing. Come in here and tell lies, you're going to get banned. You come in here and troll. But listen, we're very good at this. We've been doing this a long time. We can detect a troll in 5 seconds. We can detect fake flat earthers in milliseconds.
Gotcha.
If you want to come in here, act normal, you won't have problems. You act like a fool, you're going to have big time problems. You're not going to be here. It's that simple.
Gotcha. Cool. Honestly, guys, this has been really fascinating. I've been wanting to talk to flat earthers for the longest time to learn about, how you guys go from believing in the globe and then going into flat earth stuff. So personally, I am a very stupid individual. I must say, I am actually a very dumb individual. So I kind of like just, learning about other people's beliefs and, just learning, just learning.
Oh, here's the funny thing. You don't have to be smart to figure this out. This is a 3rd grade geometry problem.
Yeah,
it really is. It's a 3rd grade geometry problem. You don't need to be an astrophysicist or a super scientist to figure this out.
Yeah, search up on YouTube, Eric DeBay. Watch his flat Earth videos, and
No. So let me piggyback off of what Indio's saying. So it's a 3rd grade geometry problem, right? So if I were to ask you to go on YouTube and look up in the search key, distance to the horizon, the answer that they give you is based on the dimensions that they claim the Earth is. So based on the dimensions that they claim the Earth is, they'll tell you the distance to the horizon is a small formula away, and you can figure it out using this formula. Okay? So
I don't like formulas.
No, but it's fine because they give you a calculator and they say you go online and you can Google it, and here's this Earth curve calculator, and this will tell you the distance to the horizon, if this is what you wanted to know. So right off the bat, when you do that, you realize, oh, okay, this calculator says that the distance to the horizon is X, based on the claim, the geometric claim that we live on a ball with a radius of 3,959 miles. So all you have to do is go to a beach pull out some binoculars, and if there are any markers out there, you can just test exactly what they say. Well, they say the horizon is supposed to be X. Now let me see if the horizon is X. What we found is that the horizon is never X.
Never.
Is it Z?
Yeah, well, there's a particular observation called the Black Swan, where the horizon is supposed to be 1.25 miles away from the camera, and it's more than 10 miles. And we know it's more than 10 miles because there's oil rigs, which are 9 miles away, and the horizon's beyond the oil rigs. So this is how we know. So I also want to say our Discord link is discord.gg/flat earth. And we also have a wiki, and that's wiki.247flatearth, that's one word, .net. You can go on that. That has observations. You can go look at that. There's over 100 observations that people have done. Just taking photographs, radar, infrared, some of the infrared 600, 760 miles, radar 10,000 miles. I mean, some of the radar stuff is crazy. So the Jindalee radar system, which is in Australia, they're picking up planes 4,300 kilometers away. Okay. They say that they can detect planes in North Korea from Australia. Okay, so it's very far away. If the Earth was a ball, that would be impossible. If it's a ball that the size they say. So that's what we do. We test. They say the ball. They can't claim that the Earth is any size with the one they say, because they say that they went to the moon. Do you understand? Mm-hmm. So this is how it works, right? The Earth can be any size, but if they make the radius bigger, because every single thing, every distance measure, and every size of the celestial bodies is based upon the radius of the Earth in the first place. If they change the radius, they have to change the size and distance. So if they double the radius of the Earth, they have to say the moon is twice as large and twice as far away. And that the sun has to be twice as large and twice as far away. And all the stars have to be twice as large and twice as far away. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So all we can do is test or claim the radius. Test the radius. Okay, if there's a radius of this, then we expect to see that. We don't see that. That's the problem. They say it's this, we see something else. What are we supposed to do? Ignore it? Keep pretending? Stick our head in the sand? No, we're not gonna. We're gonna say, hey, they say it's this, but it's that. Take a look. Look for yourself. We're not gonna try, like I said, we're not gonna try to convince you of anything. Look for yourself. That's only fair.
Hey, Indio, can you repeat those addresses you said earlier?
Oh, yeah. So it's discord.gg/flat earth and wiki.247flat earth. That's one word, 24/7, the letters 24/7, or the numbers 24/7 flat earth.net.
I think we got one more hurrah for the night. Would you like one more hurrah, something that will totally blow your mind?
I'll take a question from the chat.
Well, time out. Because what if the question is, how do lunar eclipses work? Isn't that a good question?
Okay, how do lunar eclipses work?
India?
Huh?
Well, I was leading India. If he wanted, I don't know. Okay, I guess maybe he doesn't. Give him like 5 more seconds. Okay, so we don't know how eclipses work, but what we do know is it doesn't work the way that the heliocentric model, heliocentrists believe it works. So people believe that the sun, the earth, and the moon during a lunar eclipse are in alignment, and that's why the shadow on the moon is because of the shape of the earth. You understand this, right?
No.
Okay. Well, that's what they say. They say that the shadow that they see on the moon during a lunar eclipse is the Earth's shadow because it's in alignment between the sun and the moon, the Earth, that is. Do you understand?
It doesn't sound logical.
What do you mean? It's not my story.
I mean, that doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't?
No, can you say that again?
Well, they claim that when an eclipse happens, a lunar eclipse,
okay,
what you're looking at is the Earth's shadow because it's in between the sun and the moon. So it's blocking the sunlight.
Yes.
What's blocking the sunlight? The Earth?
The shadow.
That's what they claim.
So the Earth is blocking the sunlight.
That's what they claim.
And causing the shadow.
Moon?
That's what they claim.
Okay.
Blocking the sunlight of the sun. That's what the Earth is doing. That's why they claim the shadow. As a matter of fact, how about you look up? Hold on, I'll find you.
Is it Photoshop?
No.
What is it then?
Aristotle, right? Aristotle said, we know that the Earth is a globe or a sphere because when an eclipse happens, the Earth's shadow is projected onto the moon. That is his claim.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what everyone believes.
But how can you trust Aristotle? He's a dead dude.
No, it's not true. It's not true at all. That's what I'm getting at.
That's what globalists believe.
But I mean, if you don't understand, if you think it's ridiculous and you don't accept that as a heliocentric claim, then great. I mean, there's really nothing else to talk about. We're in agreement.
Well, what is it then? What is it?
Who knows?
Yeah, we can't really test it. We can't really test it. It could be like a third celestial body covering the Earth. We can't really go up there and test it. So
like another moon?
Yeah, like a black sun. That's what like ancients said, but we really don't know.
Yeah, that's what. So Anaxagoras, which is another Greek philosopher, he claimed that it were gaseous bodies that were spherical that were blocking the light, and that's what it is. That's
like
what
a
he
black
claimed.
sun. Like a black sun.
I guess
it could be.
It's a dark body that emanates no light.
Like a black
No, it's just a dark body that emanates no light.
That's a black hole, isn't it?
The moon emanates its own light. It's not a reflected light. There's no hot spot on the moon.
So it's like a thing that where light can't escape.
No.
So that is a black hole.
Just based off the logic of a black hole. Okay, gravity.
But
A photon is something that has zero mass. So how does something that has zero mass, which means it's not affected by gravity, affected by a black hole? Doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Also, like solar eclipses themselves disprove the globe, like just 100%.
Why?
What's a solar eclipse? Do you know what that is?
It's when the sun gets blocked by a big gigantic something, and it gets all black and thingy. You know, like like a ring. It's like a ring. The sun turns into a ring.
Okay, I'll explain this to you, and you can search this up and agree with me. I'll tell you the globe model, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so what they say is that the sunlight gets blocked by the moon, causing a shadow from the moon on the Earth, causing a solar eclipse. That's what the heliocentric model claims.
But what is it? What is blocking the sun?
The moon. The moon is in front of the sun in a solar eclipse, blocking the light. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, in that case, if you look at any image on solar eclipses, it's all like cartoons, but it gives you a picture, okay? We have measured the shadow from a solar eclipse, and Google even tells us, I don't know if this is facts, because I haven't tested myself, but Google says the shadow of a solar eclipse is around 165 miles, okay?
Okay.
Okay, and now the moon's diameter, how much is the moon's diameter? Do you know how big it is?
I mean, from the sky, from my observable eye, it's really small.
Yeah, okay. Heliocentric model, the diameter of the moon is around 2,100 miles, okay? It's around there, approximately.
That's big, yeah.
That's pretty big, yeah. It's pretty far away, too. That's what heliocentrics claim. Okay, now, they claim from Eratosthenes' experiment proving that Earth is a globe, with like two shadows and stuff like that. That claim meant that light from the sun comes parallel because the sun is so far away, okay?
Okay.
You can test this. Any light source that is far away, the light from the light source will become parallel to any object that it's casting on. The light will come parallel. Okay?
No, that's not true.
Okay.
If it's far away enough.
That's not true. But that's what they say, but that's not demonstratable.
I'm so confused now.
On their scale, we can't demonstrate. Yeah. We can't demonstrate 93 million miles away. Yeah, I agree. But the claim is, as that far away, light will come parallel, okay? Okay, now when light comes parallel from the sun, it should cast the entire shadow from the moon on the Earth. Now, the shadow from the moon on Earth is, I told you, like around 165 miles, okay?
Because the moon is smaller than the Earth.
Yes, but the moon's diameter is 2,100 miles. Now, anything casting a shadow on a curved surface will have a more distance of shadow on that surface. It won't be less. That makes no sense.
Why not?
How can light... Okay, when light comes... do you know what parallel means?
Isn't it when two things are like the same, like they are lines, and then they're like the lines are next to each other, like they
go on and they do not intersect.
They go straight. They go straight.
Yeah.
So if it were to hit the moon at a straight line, it would cast the entire moon shadow on the Earth. The entire moon's diameter of 2,100 miles on the Earth. Okay. And because the Earth itself is curved, this shadow should be larger than 2,100 miles.
Okay.
That's not what we see. What we see in the heliocentric, they claim that the light bends, goes to Earth, and then the shadow becomes super tiny. That's why it happens. That doesn't prove that doesn't prove parallel light at all. That actually disproves parallel light. And the heliocentric model doesn't explain like solar eclipses. That is not an accurate representation of what a solar eclipse is at all.
So then what is a solar eclipse?
In the flat Earth model, the moon and the sun are approximately the same size, 3,000 miles above Earth, and approximately 32 miles in diameter.
So they're the same size?
Yeah, so when one thing gets covered, it casts a shadow on the Earth. And because of their small sizes, that logically makes sense.
So they're very small.
Of why the shadow is so small.
They're small planets. They're small planets.
Well, okay. We can't
You know what a planet is?
Yeah, planet. When you say planet, do you say sphere? Do you mean sphere? It's a sphere?
I mean, we don't know if the sun is sphere, right?
Well, hang on. Do you know what a planet is?
It's a planet is a place where I mean Star Wars, I don't know, the Mars and Uranus and Pluto, I think. I don't know if Pluto's a planet or not anymore. They keep
What he's asking is what does the word mean?
A planet is
is it a sphere? Like what? Okay, what is it? What shape is it? Like?
Oh, it's a. I mean, it's a globe, but it's not. I don't know. I don't know. This is a quiz. I can't think.
The etymology of the word planet is actually wandering star. So it's just a moving light.
Okay. So it's just a moving light. Got it.
So I'm asking you, like, when you say planet, what shape do you think of?
I think of a big gigantic ball.
Like a big sphere, yeah? All right.
Yeah.
Now, when we see the moon, can you tell it's a sphere? Or can you just see one side of it always?
I mean, no, sometimes it looks like a little crescent thing, and then sometimes it's like a like a big ball. Sometimes it's like a half a ball, and sometimes it's a gigantic moon. Sometimes when it's a full moon, it's like giant.
If you have a telescope, you can see sometimes it's not all the time. I'm not sure if it's all the time, but if you have a telescope or a really powerful zoom camera and you zoom into the moon or you look at the moon, you can see stars through the moon. That right there proves that it's not a giant solid rock.
You can see stars through the moon?
Yes, you can see stars through the moon. This has been proven many, 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 many times.
What? Really?
Yep.
Yeah.
How?
Well, I'm telling you, it can't be a rock if you see stars through the moon.
Can I look this up on Google?
You can try.
Yeah, I don't know if you'll find on Google, but we have PDFs, I'm pretty sure, and pictures and videos.
So what is the moon? Is it just a projection?
And back in the 1960s, before NASA went to the moon, there was a scientist that claimed the moon to be plasma, like a luminous body. It was just plasma. That's why you could
wait there. I don't want us to sort of say that we can't say that the moon is anything. We can't actually.
Yeah, we don't know what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So to sort of say it's definitely not a rock, we can't denote that at all. We cannot say that for definite. Right.
Wait, are you English?
You see stars through the moon.
I am.
Explain that.
Hold on. Wait. Yeah. Wait. Crack. Answer the guy's question. Ask him again. Ask him again. Ask Crack Villain what you just asked him before I interjected.
He asked if he was English.
No.
Oh, yeah,
okay.
yeah.
No. Fine. I'll ask. How do we see stars through the moon then? What planet even?
All right, so potentially how we could see. Right, again, it would be speculation, but at the same time, what do we have we have air, right? We have the atmosphere itself, right? So potentially, just potentially, the moon itself, when we see it in the sky, right, and we see it in, let's say, the blue day sky, for instance, and you can even see stars behind it at that point, or even in the night sky. We don't particularly know what's going on, but we do know the way that, let's say, refraction works, or let's say the way that light bends to our eyes. So there's the potentiality, right, that obviously as we're looking at the moon, that it's not even necessarily the moon that we're looking at, it's potentially an apparent position, correct? So again...
No.
Whoa. You answered it.
Well, the reason I'll say no is because I had been arguing about this and watched the video, which is really cool if you want it. Not anyone, if anybody wants a cool moon video, I can share it in the chat.
Him saying that it's definitely not.
So the reason, yeah, we can't say what it is because we can't verify, so we can't say what it is and what it isn't. But I would say that you can't see things through physical things. That's something that I would say. But when it comes to saying that we might be looking at the apparent moon, my question would be, when does it go from actual to apparent?
Of course.
I think the moon is sus.
I think so too. It's very sus.
Yeah, we all think that. We all think that. Sorry.
No, we don't disagree with each other. By the way, Code, there's a question on your server.
Oh yeah, so this vote box, my chat can make these questions and then pop it up in my chat, and then they interact with that.
Everyone here did different research on different things, so we know different stuff, but we all agree that the Earth is flat 100%.
That's so interesting.
Yeah, with the speculations are only things we can't test, like the moon or what the sun is. Like we don't know these things, right? So that's where the assumptions come from. But everything else we agree on.
So before I wrap it up, I want to ask you guys personal favorite stuff. What's your favorite movies? What are your favorite games? What do you guys like to do for fun?
Oh, hey, anybody that plays Call of Duty Mobile, add me, Flat Earth Guns, or look up my my clan, Flat Earth 180.
No, I need your UID.
It's not bad.
So yeah, Flat Earth 187 is the name of the clan that I'm in. So if anyone is interested, there we are.
That's utility room. Yeah.
What are your other favorite games? You guys play anything like
Apex?
Yeah, it's a nice call.
You guys ever? Yeah.
Yeah.
What about your favorite movies?
I like Matrix. Matrix is pretty good.
Matrix is
Matrix is solid. Yeah.
That's a good Illuminati movie.
My favorite movie. What?
Yo, it's Level. The film Level.
Can't even.
Dude,
that's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your favorite movie, Craig?
Braveheart, brother. Braveheart. I feel like people need to start watching it as well, man. We need to realize about freedom, right? Listen, that movie has a lot in it that you need to sort of understand. You know, you need to understand that we actually have to adopt this sort of mentality right now as well. This is the time to be adopting mentality such as that. Everyone give it a rewatch.
So, guys, since you guys plugged something in my channel, can I plug something to you guys?
Of course.
Okay. I am sponsored by G Fuel, and if you guys use CodeMiko, you can get a certain percentage off. I think right now it goes up and down. Sometimes you get like 10% off, sometimes you get 30% off. Like it goes up and down. But CodeMiko, it's my only sponsorship. It's G Fuel. It's really awesome. It's a really good drink.
I knew you were on some sort of energy drink.
G Fuel makes your energy go crazy. You can go 24 hours on this stuff. The caffeine is crazy.
Whoa.
It's like,
oh my god, you're scaring me now. When your face got closer like that.
Just some coffee and Sensimilia.
It's like sugar water. But yeah, I really.
If your face is real or not?
I'm very real. I'm very, very, very real. This is all mocap and just like but I'm very real. I have to say, like, thank you so much for letting me, just ask you guys questions, and also like, do you guys allow like globe earthers to be in your Discord and like ask questions?
Of course.
Yeah, we like.
Of course, if you remember what Indio said, we don't tolerate trolls. If you think that you're going to be able to troll, we're going to suss you out in 5 minutes. Or maybe less. I'm so glad that Indio had the conversation with you, because it could have went any kind of way. But I was very, very, very happy with how the conversation went. And anyone who has questions, they're free to come in and ask us. No problem. We just ask that you respect the moderators and just don't troll.
Yeah, fake
exactly.
too.
What do you mean, Elijah? Shouldn't I have spoken to her for a minute or two?
We just really want people, you as well, to question more.
What is a troll in terms of your guys? Is it people that come in and they claim to be a pilot, but they actually are not?
No.
So you know how when Indio asked you, well, Indio said something. He said a specific term. I can't remember at the moment. But okay, let's just go with pseudoscience. He asked you what pseudoscience was, and you said no. What is that? So you were very when you were having a back and forth with him, you were engaged in the points that he was making, and if you didn't understand what he was saying, you was asking him what he meant. Can he elaborate? This is characteristics of a genuine person seeking genuine knowledge. Now, a troll, if I were to say, right? So if I were to say, hey, they claim that the Earth is a specific size, and this claim isn't true, here's how. A troll would never engage that. They just ask another question. And then another question, and then another question, without regard to anything that they've been told.
And then they top it off with, "Why does this matter?"
Why does this matter?
Yeah, why does any of this matter? Like trolls say that all the time.
Yeah, sure. Well, let me say something.
Why did I?
Can I say something really quick? I mean, I've been listening the whole time. And CodeMiko, I do the live stream on YouTube. And if any of your listeners want to come in, I can tell you were kind of confused about the format and how you can get in here. If when you first join, the reason you're muted is because we obviously get a lot of trolls, right? So
yeah.
So we have to vet someone before we can, actually get them speaking, in the room, and we don't want people disrupting, the conversation. So, but anyway, it's really, it was kind of cool. I liked a lot of your questions. So anyway, so people, if you want to join the, your listeners on your Twitch stream, if you want to join the 24/7 Flat Earth Discord, when you click the link, then find the VC check-in room, and we'll get somebody there to check you in and get you a VC verification, and then
just ping a gold, ping a mod, or ping a silver member, basically, right? You type at, you're going to be able to press S.
Yeah, that's basically the way it works. I mean, if you jump in the live stream, you're not going to be able to talk. You're going to have to go to the VC check-in room when you first join. So it's kind of it's a process that we have in place to vet people before we let them on the live stream. So hey, thanks for hosting us tonight. It's good.
No, but thank you guys for giving me giving the gosh, my English is just not working right now. Thank you guys for giving me the content. Thank you for providing me with answering my questions and just
more than
everybody.
More than likely, I'm going to capture this whole thing and I'm going to upload it as a video on my channel too. So
yeah, and hey, CodeMiko, listen, if all your followers are like you, man, just send them on in. You know what I mean? We love having conversations like this. That was awesome. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I've been in your chat just trying to get people over here, and it's like, if you got, they seem pretty enthusiastic in your chat, so I was like, get on in here.
They seem to like my name already, right? They're like ass crack villain, but again, it's just crack villain. All right, it's nothing like that. It's nothing to do with that. Okay. Everyone's had a problem with my name at some point. I don't smoke crack cocaine. Don't worry about it. I'm not a villain. It's nothing to do with that. Okay. Again, I'm getting a lot of DMs, guys. That's why.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, guys, and I'll be around.
All right.
Thank you so much.
All right, see you.
That's pretty amazing.
Goodbye, everybody. All about.
Bye.
Take care.
Have a good night. Have fun.
That's great.
Yeah, I have to end my stream now too. I'm a couple hours over, but I'll download the Twitter stream.
Now,
that was weird, man.
Oh, it was weird, but it was supposed to be. I mean, it was pretty cool. I thought it was going to be weirder than it actually was.
No, you have to think about this. At one point, there were over 5K people in her stream.